Okay, so here's our question. It says, find the domain of the rational function. Well, the how to find what the domain is, the domain of a rational function is, it's all the real numbers except any real numbers that cause the denominator to equal a zero. And just so you know, if you're looking at a rational function is a function that can be written as the quotient of two polynomial functions. So they're like, hey, f of x is a rational function if you can write it as the quotient, which means there's a numerator and a denominator. And yeah, I don't need to see all that. It's just a lot of mathematical blah, 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 blah stuff. But basically, if you have a fraction with some variables in it, and variables can be the numerator, can be in the denominator, but it's got to look like a fraction. And if you have a variable in the denominator, you have to figure out what number, if I stick it where that x is going to cause the denominator to be zero. Because you can't have zero in denominators. It says right here, cause the denominator to equal a zero. So right here I have a rational function. It's a fraction. I've got a numerator and a denominator. Here's my denominator. Here's my numerator. So it's a rational function. However, just to give you a quick review on fractions, if I had 0 divided by 3, the answer to that is 0. But if you have 3 divided by 0, the answer to that is undefined. And I always tell people, well, think about it this way. On that first one, if I gave you a pile of nothing and I said, hey, take this pile of nothing and divide it into 3 piles. I can do that. I got a pile of nothing, I got a pile of nothing, and I got another pile of nothing. Done. But if I give you 3 objects and I say, take these 3 objects and divide them into 0 piles, you'll start scratching your head because I can't even envision that. That's because it can't be done. And if you do it in your calculator, if you go 3 divided by 0 and you hit the enter button, it's going to give you an error message because it can't be done. It's undefined. So, since our denominator here is an x plus 5, right here, this x plus 5, we want to know, when does an x plus 5 equal 0? Well, to solve that, I would just subtract 5 from both sides. That cancels out. So x would equal 0 minus 5, a negative 5. If I were to put, let me erase this highlighter here. If I were to put a negative 5 right here, negative 5 plus 5, and of course you'd put it in the numerator also, but the numerator really doesn't matter because up here the numerator can be a 0. That's not the problem. It's when the denominator is a 0 that you got a problem. So if I put negative 5 there, negative plus 5 is 0. Negative 5 plus positive 5 is 0. The numerator would be what? Negative 5 minus 3, that's a negative 8. So I'd have negative 8 over 0, but that is still undefined. So, my domain, because that's what we're being asked to find the domain. It can be any number in the world. It can be any number but this negative 5. Now, just to show you what it looks like on a number line, if I were to draw a number line, zoop. I do this because I'm a visual learner. Here's negative 5, right? Down here somewheres, I don't know, negative 10, and up here 0. And if I were to take a highlighter and highlight every number on the number line that x could be, it would start way down here at negative infinity, come up to the -5 but not include it, then go to the other side of -5 and keep going in the other direction to positive infinity, I cannot include the -5. So I put an open circle on that. Or what you can do is, and a lot of books, some books do it, some books don't. You'd be like, okay, I'm here up to the -5, but I can't include it. And then on the other side, another set of parentheses going in this direction. Actually, these almost like butt up against each other. But you can't include either one. So for the, I'm going to use a different color now. For the left side here, from here up to there, that interval would be going from -infinity up to the -5, but not including it. And then on the other side over here, going this way, that interval would be starting on the other side of -5 and going up to positive infinity. And then you're simply going to put a U in between. That's the union symbol. It just means you're going to take everybody in this group and everybody in that group and put them together in one big happy group because there's no overlap. And that's what I would be sticking in right here. Okay, and I jumped back to Mobius so I could show you that. They're not giving me the little sigma options, so I'm gonna have to type it as they said it. To enter infinity, type the word infinity. So I'm gonna go parenthesis, hello, parenthesis, -infinity, do not capitalize, comma, -5, close the parentheses. To enter U, type a capital U, so capital U, and then parenthesis, -5, comma, infinity, parenthesis, and then how did I do? Yay! So that's how it's done. Hope that makes sense. And have fun with whatever they give you.